Okay, guys, so now let's move to question 4.1.3. So, this question has been allocated 3 marks. And the question says, name 2 towns the runners will pass through on their way to Springbok following the N14. So, I think this question also, it should be as easy as the previous questions. So you've been guided to follow the N14 route and find 2 towns along the N14. Let me see. So if you can see, this is the N14 route. And remember, the runners will be passing through these towns coming from Uppington heading to Springbok. So that means along the N14, you just need to write down the 2 names of the towns. So I think normally along major routes, that's where you have towns. Let's say, for instance, this map, it's for a place in somewhere in just an example, somewhere in KZN, and you're staying in Limpopo, you've never been to KZN, and you don't know the name of these places, you haven't been to this place before, but then you are being expected to provide the names of the towns along the N14, which is a place which is somewhere in KZN. So I just want to guide you regarding the manner in which you can identify the towns from a map. So if I were you in grade either 10, 11 or 12, and I've never been to another province, and I'm given a map and expected to provide the names of the towns, the first thing that I would look for is the main route, and from the main route I would look for routes which are crossing the main route. So obviously the N4 is the national road. So this is a national road that obviously connects nations. So you'll find that maybe you've got the N4 passing through multiple provinces. So obviously at points where you have other routes crossing the main routes, you are most likely to have towns. So that means, for example, I can see there's this route which is crossing the N14, and I've got another route over there which is crossing the N14. So that means I'll be looking at Gamos and Profada as my possible answers as towns along the N14. So also you have another town there which is Kakamas. It's also along the N14. So that means I've got almost 3 possible answers that I can give as an answer to question 4.1.3. So that means I've got Gamos and Profada. Profada. And I also have Kakamamas. So that means I've got 3 possible answers. So it's just a matter of me choosing which ones. So obviously I will go for the ones that I'm confident with. So I'm confident with Profada and Gamos. Reason being, you've got some routes crossing that major road. You've got some routes crossing major road. So remember, guys, this map, the scale of this map, it's 1 in 3 million 7,874. So this is, it's actually zoomed out such that it only shows the major routes, the towns. See the national parks there. You might find that in between you've got some streets which are not shown because of the scale. But one thing for sure, this is a national road. These are some of the major routes which are crossing the national road. So you will obviously have a town there and a town there, possibly a town there. And you might find some other towns along the N14. But in this case, we're only requested to provide two towns which the runners will pass through on their way to Springbok. So that's how I would answer question 4.1.3. So in short, the answer is Kamos and Profada. So I think you might have learned something from the information that I've given you. Not only to be able to answer this question, but to also have an idea of how to approach this kind of questions.